If you want to learn about what happened to the characters in the Batman before the movie, Zoe Kravitz in previous Batman movies, and scrapped cameos that will have shocked you, be sure to watch the video. Well, hello there, Spider-Dash here. I've been suffering from this addiction called I can't stop watching the Batman. I've seen this movie again and again because he's literally me. Yes, I am half the Batman and half Spider-Man, because I have no powers and no money. Anyway, after watching the Batman dozens of times, I discovered secrets that not anyone might know. That's why today I want to bring you the Batman Iceberg. Be ready because you're going to know absolutely everything about the Batman. But before starting the video, give me a like, be sure to click the subscribe button and leave something in the way in the comment section for a chance to win your own Batcave. Thank you so much for watching, and with that out of the way, let's begin! Tier 1. Clear Skies. Rata Alada. Rata Alada is the secret name that the Riddler gives to Carmine Falcone in this movie, but it is also a web page that when the movie was released you could visit. If you answered the riddles correctly, you got some small rewards, like pictures or maps of Gotham City. Among them was one that we'll talk about shortly. But before that, I have to mention that the site is closed. If you try to access, it says that it has been seized by the Gotham police. The Joker deleted scene. The Joker appears in the very end of the movie, maybe announcing that he is going to take more of the spotlight in the next movie. But he had another scene that was deleted from the movie. It was a reward from the Rata Alada page, but it was uploaded by Warner shortly after. We can see a different version of the Joker. Matt Reeves confirmed that this Joker has a skin disease and other illnesses. Also, this scene was deleted because it made the interrogation with Edward have less impact. Something in the Way is the song of the first trailer of the movie, and it also appears at the start and the end of the movie. It was composed by Nirvana, topic that we'll be touching a lot throughout the iceberg. Longest Batman movie. The Batman is the longest Batman movie, lasting almost 3 hours, 2 hours and 56 minutes to be precise, and is the third longest superhero movie. The second one is Avengers Endgame, and the first is the Snyder Cut. 10 years. The Batman is the first live-action Batman movie that we have in 10 years, the last one being The Dark Knight Rises in 2012. Batman v Superman doesn't count exactly because it's not a solo Batman movie. Lego Batman is an animated movie just like a ton that we had. So even if we didn't have a solo Batman movie in a long time, we didn't feel the absence because we had a lot of Batman content. Prequel novel. The Batman has a prequel novel. The Batman has a prequel novel that was released before the movie. It was confirmed that it is canon. I will talk a lot about this book throughout the iceberg. I boxed the novel just to make this video, so I will appreciate if you click the like and subscribe button and share this video with your friends. Robert Pattinson hate. A lot of people were mad when it was announced that Robert Pattinson was going to play Batman in the new movie. A lot of them argued this decision because of the role of Robert Pattinson in the Twilight movies. It was kinda funny that Christian Bale defended Robert Pattinson, saying that people were wrong with Heath Ledger and they might be wrong with Robert Pattinson and that they should give him a chance. Ben Affleck's The Batman. The Batman was originally going to be a movie taking place in the DC Extended Universe, starred by Ben Affleck, and the main villain was going to be Deathstroke, played by Joe Manganiello. The script was written by Ben Affleck and it was going to be directed by him as well. But because of a lot of personal problems, Ben Affleck left the job of director at first and eventually abandoned the project entirely. Matt Reeves had the script that Ben Affleck wrote and he liked it. He says that it was a lot like a spy movie. But eventually Matt Reeves decided to do something completely different and set the movie in a different universe. It was the best decision, to be honest. Tier 2. The tip of the iceberg. Why Bruce is not buffed. It may seem a little weird that this version of Bruce Wayne is not as muscular as the previous version that had muscles in the muscles. Well, in the book it's explained that he didn't train to get muscles precisely. Yes, he trained to get stronger, but mostly he prioritized getting faster. Speed is a common trend that we'll see with this version of Batman. The Batman 2004. The Batman is a cartoon released in 2004. When the Batman movie was announced and we didn't have much information and searched for it in Google, we got this cartoon instead. But nowadays, if you search the Batman, you hardly get any results about the cartoon. The cartoon and the movie share a few similarities, being that in both, we see a younger version of Bruce Wayne. It wasn't as good as the animated series, but still, it was fun nevertheless. Wayne Manor. Even if Bruce Wayne lives in the Wayne Tower in this universe, it wasn't always like that. The Wayne Manor was donated to serve as an orphanage. This happened when Bruce was 10 years old. This is briefly mentioned in the movie, but it is a detail that is easy to miss. Lego sets. Some Lego sets were released before the movie. We have a few of them, but they are nice collectibles nevertheless. Spin-offs. At the time being, we have 2 confirmed spin-offs of the Batman that will be released exclusively on HBO Max. Those spin-offs being The Penguin, starred by Colin Farrell, and the other one is the Arkham Asylum. We don't have much information at the time being, but we should know more about them really soon. Bat symbol. The bat symbol in this movie looks like it's made out of a gun. Batman uses it as a knife in the movie. But it begs the question if it was like in the comics where he made his bat symbol the same way, using the gun that killed his parents. Little Caesars. Little Caesars and the Batman did a small collaboration where they sold pizza shaped like the Batman logo. The pizza looked weird to say the least. Also, they came in a box that looked great if you're a collector. Nirvana. The director, Matt Reeves, inspired this version of Bruce Wayne in Kurt Cobain, mainly because the role of Robert Pattinson in the movie Good Times reminded him of Kurt Cobain. That's why Robert Pattinson was his first choice even before the actor agreed or not. Fake scenes. The director Matt Reeves shot some fake scenes to avoid any leaks. One of them was a scene with the actor Barry Keoghan as an officer of the GCPD, to avoid that his apparition as the Joker was leaked. Another with Zoe Kravitz at the funeral, where we know that she doesn't appear. The Long Halloween. This movie was heavily inspired on the comic Batman The Long Halloween. Both stories start in obviously Halloween, and both Carmine Falcone and Maroni's mobs have a big role in both the comic and the movie. Chorus. The Riddler used to be part of the chorus in the Gotham orphanage. That's why he sings the Ave Maria. Tier 3. Below the surface. Alfred's past. Alfred was an officer of the British intelligence, where he was taught different fight techniques and administration skills. That's why he directs most of Wayne Enterprises in this movie. Obviously, he couldn't fight in World War II, like in the comics, because if that was the case, he would have to be over 100 years old. So, this is as comic accurate as it can be. Bruce Jitsu. Alfred trained Bruce Wayne with a lot of things that he learned from his time as a British intelligence officer, amongst them karate, judo, and taekwondo. He combined all of these techniques with an emphasis on speed. Alfred named this technique Bruce Jitsu as a joke. Zoe Kravitz in Lego Batman. This is not the first time that Zoe Kravitz plays Catwoman in the big screen. The first time was in Lego Batman, where she gave the voice to Catwoman. Even if it was a small role, it is interesting nevertheless. Zoe Kravitz in The Dark Knight Rises. Zoe Kravitz auditioned to play a small role in The Dark Knight Rises, but she was rejected because, in their own words, she was too urban. Whatever that means, I think that it was a good thing, because now we have her in a more important role. The best Catwoman up to date, in my opinion. Batman and Riddler's first encounter. The first time that Bruce and Edward met was in their childhood, after Bruce's father donated the Wayne Manor. He did his political campaign that we see in the movie. It was in that same scene that Edward and Bruce saw each other, and since then Edward hated Bruce because he felt that Bruce had everything and he had nothing. All of this is mentioned in the prequel novel. The Batman suit in Batman Arkham Knight. A lot of fans have requested Rocksteady, creators of the game, to put the suit from the Batman movie in Batman Arkham Knight. That game has all of the movie skins so far, just missing the Batman suit. Honestly, I don't think that they will add that suit, but a lot of fans have made mods that look great. I think that the Batman suit is going to appear in the next big Batman game, but hear me out. Probably it will be an alternate suit in the upcoming game, Warner Multiversus. You hear it here first. Google Easter egg. If you search Bruce Wayne on Google, you will get this icon of the bat signal. If you click on it, a small animation will play of Batman swinging with the grappler. This was added to Google to promote the Batman movie. No Man's Land. By the end of the movie, the city gets flooded because of the Riddler. This is a reference to No Man's Land, where, because of an earthquake, it happens almost the same. This might be one of the comics that the next movie might take inspiration. Eye makeup. This is the first Batman that canonically uses eye makeup. The previous actors used eye makeup as well, but for some reason it disappeared when they take off the mask, which is odd. I think that this adds a lot of humanity to the character. Halloween. Both movies, The Batman and Halloween, open pretty much the same way, with a POV of the villains spying the character that is going to kill. Then the villain coming out of the shadows and killing the person that was spying. 7. The Batman and Seven share a lot of similarities, but one of them is that in both movies it's always raining. This is to give more character and weight to the city. Bruce's college years. When Bruce was 19 years old, he enrolled in different colleges around the world. This wasn't with the object of studying. This was just a facade to train martial arts with different masters around the world. This is mentioned in the novelization. Tier 4. The bottom of the iceberg. Batman Forever suit. Robert Pattinson did his audition wearing the suit from Batman Forever, which is odd but interesting nevertheless. Titan. In the final battle, Bruce injects himself with a green substance, which most likely is just adrenaline, but this could be a reference to Titan, or Venom, the same substance that Bane uses to get his super strength. Imperial March. A lot of people point out that the Batman theme for this movie sounds a lot like the Imperial March. I will show you, but I will get a copy strike. So, what I will tell you is that both songs are inspired on the Funeral March by Frederick Chopin. Bullseye. Colin Farrell, the actor who plays the Penguin, also played Bullseye in the Daredevil movie from 2003. Which is funny because both Ben Affleck, who plays Daredevil in the movie, and Colin Farrell ended up playing Batman characters. Jonah Hill. There are rumors that Warner's first choice to play the Penguin was the actor Jonah Hill, but he rejected the offer because he didn't want people making jokes about his weight again, things that he has been trying to change. Nicholas Hoult. The actor Nicholas Hoult, who you might know because he plays the Beast in the X-Men movies, auditioned to play the Batman, role that he would have gotten if it wasn't because the actor, Robert Pattinson, was the director's first choice. Batman Year One. Batman Year One was one of the inspirations to make the movie, although in the film is Batman's second year as a vigilante. Batman Earth 1. The film is also heavily inspired on the Batman version Earth 1, where Batman's mother name is Martha Arkham, and both the Waynes and the Arkhams founded Gotham City, and also Martha has mental health problems, and it is questioned if Batman might be mentally ill. Also, this comic has a version of Alfred really similar to the one of the movie, where he trains Bruce Wayne as well. 1960 vintage sports car. The Batmobile that we see in the movie is a vintage sports car from the 60s that Bruce Wayne modified. The intention of the car was not to be a tank or extremely durable. It was to be as light as possible because the main function of this version of the Batmobile is to go extremely fast, because in the beginning Bruce Wayne used the car to race, things that we'll talk about in just a second. Bat-Belt's origin. In this version of the Batman, the Bat-Belt was created by Bruce Wayne because he needed to carry tools to modify his car, and he didn't want to be carrying a toolbox, so he modified a belt to be able to carry his tools without having to worry about a box. Paul and Dex. When Bruce Wayne was younger, he participated in street races. It was in this time that he started to use the same outfit that we see when the movie starts. And obviously, because he didn't want to be recognized, he used the alias of Paul. And Dex was the name of a girl that used to race with Bruce. He liked her, and her real name was Dorothy Alexa. We'll keep talking about her throughout the iceberg. And obviously, all of this was mentioned in the prequel novelization. Bruce and Riddler's second encounter. The second encounter between Bruce and the Riddler was in the races, when they were still young, obviously. One time, one of Bruce's friends almost hit Edward with his car. Edward felt furious that those people had a lot of money and they were wasting it in a way that they could get hurt and hurt others. So he planned his revenge, and he put a bomb on Dex's car. She almost died, but she was saved by Bruce. Even if they didn't meet directly, it was their second interaction. Tier 5. Shallow Waters. GCPD cancelled spin-off. Originally, the Arkham Asylum spin-off was going to be a show about the GCPD, but that was scrapped because that show would have been really similar to the TV show Gotham. 60s Batman reference. In one of the rooms of Wayne Tower, we can see a bust of William Shakespeare. This is a reference to the Batman show from the 60s. Hush/Edward Elliot. In one frame of the Batman, we can see the word Hush, which is a reference to the villain Hush. And if you think that it is just a coincidence, there's more. The journalist that Carmine Falcone killed was named Edward Elliot, the grandfather of Thomas Elliot, aka Hush. Miller and Moore. In the cease and desist letter sent by Wayne Enterprises, we can see that the law firm is named Miller and Moore, which is a reference to Frank Miller and Alan Moore, both writers of some of the best Batman comics ever. Zorro. In the scene where Carmine Falcone is arrested, he calls Batman Zorro, which might be a reference to the fact that when Batman was created, one of the main inspirations was the character Zorro. Also, in almost every version of Batman's origin, the movie that he was watching with his parents before they were murdered was the Zorro. Vengeance. Almost every movie has a placeholder name so that the production won't get leaked. The placeholder name of this movie was Vengeance, which is a topic that we see a lot throughout the movie. Also, when Batman says "I'm vengeance," it might be a reference to the animated series. League of Shadows. When the movie starts, we can see a kid dressed as a ninja. This could be a reference to the League of Shadows. Jay Lycurgo. The actor Jay Lycurgo plays a gang initiate in the movie. His makeup could be a reference to Two-Face, but on the TV show Titans, he plays Tim Drake, so he plays Batman characters in both projects, which is interesting. Explosive Gel. The explosive gel that appears in the Batman Arkham games also exists in the universe of the Batman. In the novelization, it is mentioned that Dex used to sell it to criminals, but the one manufacturing it was the Penguin. Shutting down this business was Batman's first mission, and obviously he succeeded. Tier 6. Dark Waters. Riddler's real name. The Riddler's name in this universe is Edward Nashton, instead of the usual Edward Nygma. This might be a reference to the New 52 comics, where the Riddler's name is Edward Nashton as well. Riddler's glasses. The Riddler's glasses in this movie are the same ones that Jim Carrey's Riddler used in Batman Forever. The Riddler is always watching. In the scene where Catwoman leaves the bar, we can see that the Riddler is watching in the background. It is safe to say that the Riddler was always watching when Batman or other characters entered into the bar. Forensic accounting. The Riddler in this universe has a degree on forensic accounting. Basically, he specializes on searching for anomalies in a company's movements. Maybe that's how he saw all the corruption in Gotham City. Zodiac Killer. The Riddler in this movie was inspired on the Zodiac Killer, an unidentified serial killer from the 60s who operated really similar to the Riddler, leaving behind clues and ciphers, and even wearing a similar mask to the one that the Riddler wears in this movie. Bruce was slang used by orphans. In the book is mentioned that in the orphanage where the Riddler lived most of his life, Bruce was used by the orphans to refer to people that had money. If any of the orphans received some kind of compensation like a grant, his nickname was Bruce until he ran out of money. All of this obviously joking about Bruce Wayne. Ave Maria. In the interrogation scene, the Riddler sings the Ave Maria, but a detail that is easy to miss is that the Riddler's theme in this movie is also inspired in this song. I will show you, but you know, I might get a copy strike. Good Time. In the beginning of the movie, we can see a drophead entering into a store named Good Times. This is a reference to the previously mentioned Robert Pattinson's movie, Good Time, and also the outfit that the drophead is wearing is the same that Robert Pattinson wears in Good Time. Parallels. Both Batman and Riddler have similar introductions. Both start with a POV to then emerge from the shadows. Maybe these are parallels to point out that they are more similar than we might think at first. Jim Carrey disliked Paul Dano's Riddler. Jim Carrey said in an interview that he didn't like Paul Dano's Riddler, saying that he was too violent and that it might inspire people to commit crimes. Things that I don't agree with, but okay. Tier 7. The Abyss. Flashpoint. There are rumors that this version of Batman might be the new main Batman in the DC Extended Universe. After Affleck's departure, we don't have a Batman to interact with the rest of the Justice League, so maybe in the upcoming movie, Flashpoint, we'll see this version of Batman becoming the new main version in the DC Extended Universe. Things that I don't like that much, but leave your thoughts in the comment section. 2011 prediction. A really prominent fan page of Robert Pattinson did a fan art requesting that Robert played Batman in a future movie, and it paid off. It's really funny if you think about it. Matt. In the Cartoon Network show Matt, they did a parody of the Twilight movies. In that episode, they joked about vampires being similar to Batman, which is ironic because Robert Pattinson was a vampire and now he is Batman. The Dark Knight reference. In the final monologues that Batman gives, he says the words, "Things have to get worse before they get better," which are the same words that Alfred says to Batman in the Dark Knight movie. Bloodhaven. At the end of the movie, it is mentioned that Catwoman is going to Bloodhaven, city that in the comics is protected by Nightwing. Same villains as 60s Batman. In this movie, we can see the same villains that appear in the Batman show from the 60s, those being Catwoman, the Penguin, the Riddler, and the Joker. It is interesting even if it wasn't done intentionally. Arkham State Hospital. Instead of being named Arkham Asylum, in this movie they refer to it as Arkham State Hospital, which is curious because in the movie The Joker, they also refer to the Arkham Asylum as Arkham State Hospital. The Riddler burned the orphanage. In the prequel novel, it is mentioned that the Riddler burns the Wayne Manor, or the Gotham Orphanage, that is basically the same. The thing is that he did this when he was an adult, so this explains why the building is in such a poor state in the movie. LexCorp. In the prequel novelization, it is mentioned that after the explosive gel business was shut down, Dex is going to Metropolis to work for LexCorp, specifically LexCorp race team, because she has experience modifying cars to make them as fast as possible. So, this points out that Superman exists in this universe. Superman and Wonder Woman deleted scene. There was supposed to be a scene in the opening sequence where we would have seen people dressed as Superman and Wonder Woman, because it was Halloween. But this scene was deleted from the movie. At least this also points out that other heroes exist in this universe. Joker breaking out of Arkham, foreshadowing. In the Joker deleted scene, we can see that when Batman hands the folder to the Joker, it has 3 paper clips, but when the Joker gives back the folder to Batman, it only has 2 paper clips. This might be pointing out that the Joker will use this paperclip and other things that he stole to break out of Arkham. Well, you stayed until the end, and before you leave, I want to give a shout out to some of you. A shout out to Face Brandon, Cashman Jedi, Slice Tube, Oni Games, Kyle Raggett, Shy Was Here, Diamond Breakers, Iron Knight Prime 42, Quentin Winters, O Bill, SMPS Gamer, Phoenix Explains, Bra, Dark Bunny 87, This Avocado, Spider Gamer 12, Void Glitch, Tofu Stack, Cobley1234, Duelist, Cooper Plays, Anorak Pack, Wacky Dave, Pumpkin Knight, Spider-Fan 2006, Wendy Goon's Cousin, Skippy, Mark, and last but not least, Electro Unofficial. If you want a shoutout in my next video, give me a like, be sure to click the subscribe button, and leave something in the way in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye!